guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do the Book Outlet Boxing Day haul part 2. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've got this ridiculously huge, oh gosh, box of books remaining. It's actually currently overflowing because I put the remainder of the half box that I started on part 1 into this box so that I would have a pretty even split between the two parts. So there are a lot of books in here. I ordered 82 books on Boxing Day, so it was such a huge haul that I actually split it into 2 videos because it was just too much for one video. So let's get into part 2. Okay, so the first book we have in here is Control by Lydia Kang. And this was blurbed by James Dashner, who is the author of the Maze Runner trilogy. It says, "The twists and turns and suspense made for a thrilling ride. Zell is as authentic a character as I've read in a very long time. Highly recommended." And it also says here, "Control blew me away." And James Dashner said that as well. So it says, Zelia Benton loves working in the science lab because it gives her a sense of control. But when she and her sister and father leave town to move to another state, an accident eviscerates their lives. And it's only the beginning of the changes to come. Control is a luxury Zelia may never possess again, not unless she gives up the idea of being reunited with her sister and her chance to fall in love. This is an unputdownable, intense romantic thriller set in 2150 in a world of automatic cars, nightclubs with auditory ecstasy drugs, downloadable perfume, and guys with 4 arms. Control is about the human genetic mistakes that society wants to forget and the way that outcasts can turn out to be heroes. And I thought that sounded pretty darn interesting. Oh gosh, here we go again with the, that sounds interesting. I'm sorry, but I'm probably going to say that for like almost all of these books, but I think they're all interesting. Otherwise, I would not have bought them. So also by Lydia Kang, we have the sequel to Control, and that is Catalyst. And it says, The End of Control. Okay, so the next 2 books we have in here are Earth and Sky and The Clouded Sky by Megan Crew. And these are the first 2 books in the Earth and Sky series. And all I know about this is that there's a girl, a 17-year-old girl named Skylar, who always feels like there's something wrong. Like there's a mistake, that something's not right. And then she meets this boy named Wynn and learns that humans are not alone on Earth. That there are aliens and they are manipulating the essential fabric of their lives. And life as they know it is starting to unravel. And Skylar has heightened awareness where she's picking up on these mistakes, these things that are coming undone. To me, this very much sounded like a YA version of The Matrix. That's kind of the gist I was getting from this. That's what these are about. Okay, so this next book I totally got for my husband. He is a big Star Trek fan. He is definitely a Trekkie. And I happened to see this on Book Outlet, so I had to get it for him. It's Star Trek Vulcan's Soul, Book 1, Exodus, by Josepha Sherman and Susan Schwartz. And it says, 1 year after the end of the Dominion War, the Romulan Star Empire comes under attack by a mysterious and alarmingly powerful enemy calling itself the Watrai? I don't know. A species with a long-standing vendetta against the Romulans. Yet, though they remain tenuously allied, the Federation, the Romulans, and the Klingons are unready to become embroiled in another sustained conflict, forcing Ambassador Spock, Admiral Uhura, Admiral Chekhov, Captain Savik, and some unexpected allies to defy their governments in order to meet the new threat head-on. But the first blood drawn may prove to be among the dearest of all. Unknown to the defenders, the secret behind the Watreys attack is buried in Vulcan's violent ancient past, during the time of Surak himself, when the Proto-Romulans, staunch opponents of Surak's reforms, were compelled to take their chances among the cold and distant stars. Now Spock must begin the first leg of a long and dangerous road to learn the truth, before his hopes for the future become ashes. I'm hoping that this might be something that Marty will want to read. He doesn't do a whole lot of physical reading, but I keep buying him books, that with things that are of interest to him, in hopes that he will pick one up and read it. So that's why I got this. Okay, so the next book we have is Life Unaware by Cole Gibson. And this is about a girl named Reagan Flay who is on the cusp of reaching her very control freak mother's plan for her for high school, with cheerleading and honor society and student council. She is like the queen bee at the school, but then something goes horribly wrong. And every mean text or email or anything that Reagan has ever said has now been printed out and is displayed on all of the lockers in school. So now she's gone from queen bee to pariah, and nobody wants to have anything to do with her. And the only person that will be her friend or talk to her at all is a boy named Nolan, who is her ex-best friend's little brother. And Nolan thinks he knows what Reagan is going through, but really there's a lot more under the surface, and Reagan is not Little Miss Perfect like everybody seems to think. And she's actually barely holding it together because of the pressure that her mom is putting on her. So that is what this is about. Okay, the next book we have is Premeditated by Jocelyn L. McQuine. And oh my gosh, how floppy this thing is. It's just, I picked it up and it does that. It feels so nice. Okay. It says, a week ago, Dinah's cousin Claire cut her wrists. 5 days ago, Dinah found Claire's diary and discovered why. 3 days ago, Dinah stopped crying and came up with a plan. 2 days ago, she ditched her piercings and bleached the black dye from her hair. Today, Dinah will find the boy who broke Claire. By tomorrow, he'll wish he were dead. Claire's in the hospital holding on for her life while Dinah goes in search of the boy Claire wrote about in her journal. The boy who forced her to do something she didn't want to do. The boy who caused her such humiliation, the thought of having to live one more day was just too much. Dinah is on a mission for revenge. But murder isn't always as simple as it seems. Intriguing and floppy. This is just a fun book to hold. I mean, okay. So up next we have Suspicion by Alexandra Monier. And isn't this just so pretty? It's like a hedge maze and the maze is purple. Okay, so there's a blurb on the back here that says, take the Princess Diaries and add magic, murder, and mystery, and you've got Suspicion, a delightful read. And that was by Amy Plum, author of the international best-selling Die For Me series. And with that blurb alone, I don't want to read anything else about this book because, I mean, Princess Diaries, super cute, but magic, murder, and mystery as well. And I liked the Princess Diaries, so that is what this book is about, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Okay, so next up is The Adjustment by Suzanne Young. And this is the 5th book in the program series, and I already have the first 4 books. It's set in a time where teen suicide is an epidemic, and the only cure for it is the program. And essentially, the program is the government is erasing their memories. And the main characters in the first book are trying to break out of the program, and they don't want their memories erased. And in their process, they're untangling all the secrets and lies that are involved with the program. So, I think it sounds really cool. So, when I saw that there was this book, I had to get it. And it's funny because initially what I purchased was the box set of the program and the treatment. And it was supposed to be just a duology. And now it's at least 5 books. And I think maybe there's a 6th book. Yeah, apparently there's a 6th book now as well called The Complication. Okay, so the next book in the box is called The Duff by Cody Keplinger. And it says it's now a major motion picture, which I actually have heard of that, but I haven't seen it. It says 17-year-old Bianca Piper may not be the prettiest girl in her high school, but she has a loyal group of friends, a biting wit, and a spot-on BS detector. She's also too smart to fall for the charms of a man-slut and slimy school hottie, Wesley Rush, who calls Bianca the Duff, the designated ugly fat friend of her crew. But things aren't so great at home, and Bianca, desperate for a distraction, ends up kissing Wesley. Worse, she likes it. Eager for escape, Bianca throws herself into a closeted enemies with benefits relationship with him, until it goes horribly awry. It turns out Wesley isn't such a bad listener, and his life is pretty screwed up too. Suddenly, Bianca realizes with absolute horror that she's falling for the guy she thought she hated more than anyone. Sounds like it could be a cute story, so... And I'm pretty sure I've heard it talked about on BookTube as well. But I can't really remember who or what was said. Okay, so the next 3 books we have are the Cyd Charisse trilogy. We have Gingerbread, Shrimp, and Cupcake. And for one, they just looked super cute. And yeah, they're adorable. So it's about this wild and willful girl named Cyd Charisse who gets kicked out of a boarding school and sent back to live with her parents in San Francisco. And she's just kind of like, I can't handle these people and this pristine house. And she's just happy that she has Gingerbread, which is her childhood rag doll and confidant. And when her rebelliousness gets out of hand, her parents ship her off to New York City to spend the summer with her biological father and step-siblings, which trading in her parents for New York City grunge and getting to know her biological father and her step-siblings is like what she's waited her whole life for. But summer in the city is not quite what she expects, and she's definitely not the daughter or sister that anyone expects either. And I thought they just sounded cute and lighthearted, and I mean, they're so stinking adorable. But yeah, that's what these are about. Okay, so the next book we have is The Different Girl by Gordon Dahlquist. And this looks very interesting to me. She's got the yellow hair and it looks like a power button. Okay, so it says 4 identical girls exist together on an island where they live and learn. Every day is very much the same until a different girl washes up on shore and challenges everything they've come to know. And that's all I know about this. Okay, the next book in this box. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this book. It's Things I Can't Explain by Michelle Kriegman, who is the creator of Clarissa Explains It All. Okay, so if you're a 90s kid, you know Clarissa Explains It All. And I loved that show so much. And I'm super excited about this. Okay, so it's Clarissa, but she's gone from being the teenager that, well, can explain anything to the 20-something-year-old that realizes she doesn't know anything. And I just love it so much. I'm so excited to read this. And it's not too big. I wonder how many pages. Yeah, it's only 272 pages and rather large font. So I think it'll go by quickly. But I'm so excited for this book. And if you don't know Clarissa Explains It All, you missed out. Okay, so this next book, I know I said I had the first 4, but I guess I only had the first 3 of the program series, because this is number 4, and I just checked on my shelf and I only have the first 3, so this is number 4, and then you already saw number 5. Okay, the next book in the box here is Lovey by Mary McCracken. And it says, this deeply moving memoir tells the true story of Hannah, a child who has been beaten and abused, a girl full of loneliness and rage, a student no one could reach. When Hannah joined Mary McCracken's small class of emotionally disturbed children, she hid in the coat cupboard and refused to come out, look at anyone, or eat for 2 weeks. 8 years old and howling almost non-stop, she was the most troubled child Mary had ever worked with. How could Mary help a child who had been treated like an animal? What could she say to a child who had been locked out of her own home and beaten by both her brother and her father? How could she reach this lost girl? This is the remarkable story of Hannah and Mary's journey together. Mary recognizes an amazing strength within Hannah, and with love, skill, and patience, she gradually starts to make a difference. It's a long road to recovery, but Mary never gives up. And it's so sad, but so sweet at the same time. And people that can hurt a child, I think, are the worst. And then the people that can give so much of themselves to try to help a child like this, it's just, they're amazing. They're angels. Okay, so the next book in this box is The Cipher by John C. Ford. And it says, Robert Smiles Smiley is not a genius. He feels like he's surrounded by them, though. From his software mogul dad to his brainy girlfriend to his oddball neighbor Ben, a math prodigy. When Ben cracks an ancient real-life riddle central to modern data encryption systems, he suddenly holds the power to unlock every electronic secret in the world, and Smiles finally has a chance to prove his own worth. Smiles hatches a plan to protect Ben from the government agents who will stop at nothing to get their hands on his discovery. But as he races from a Connecticut casino to the streets of Boston, enlisting the help of an alluring and brilliant girl, Smiles comes to realize the most explosive secrets don't lie between the covers of Ben's notebook. They're buried in his own past. Okay, next we have Chasing Shadows by Cyd Charisse. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So it says, Corey, Holly, and Savitri are closer than a family until a random act of violence shatters their world. A gunman shoots at their car, leaving Corey dead, Holly in a coma, and Savitri the sole witness to the crime. When Holly wakes up, she is changed, determined to hunt down Corey's killer, whatever the cost. Savitri fears that Holly is running wild, losing her grip on reality. Friends should stand by each other in times of crisis, but can you hold on too tight, too long? And this is another very floppy book. Ooh, and look. And, oh, well, this is interesting. Okay, so you go from, like, a regular book to what looks like a graphic novel. Back to regular book. Huh. And it's like that author out. Well, that's interesting. It looks cool. Okay, next we have Shadow Creek by Joy Fielding. And this is about an unlikely group of companions end up camping in the Adirondacks together. And they don't realize that there's a pair of crazed killers in the same woods as them. And then an elderly couple is found slaughtered, and their teenage daughter, or the teenage daughter of one of the couples, goes missing, and it just turns into a nightmare from there. So that's what this is about. Okay, the next book we have is The Accident Season by Myra Fowley Doyle. And apparently she is the author of Spellbook of the Lost and Found. However, this is her debut novel. And this is about a girl named Kara who is 17 years old, and her entire life, her family has been cursed. And, well, since before she was born, her family has been cursed. And they have what they call the accident season, and it happens around the end of October every year. Bones break, skin tears, bruises bloom. They just become super accident prone. You know, it's very foreshadowed by the deaths of the generations before them. So every year they lock away anything sharp, they pad the corners of the tables, they switch off electrical items, but they still find themselves getting hurt. And the accident season becomes an ever-growing obsession and fear, and they want to know why they're so cursed and can they make it stop. Now, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a semi-definitive list of worst nightmares by Crystal Sutherland, which was an amazing book, and I loved it so much, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I'm very curious to see if this is going to fall under the same kind of thing. My stack here is getting tall. It's above my head. Okay, the next book in the box is The Last Forever by Deb Coletti. And this is about a girl named Tessa whose mother has passed away, and she's doing everything she can to try to hold on to any happiness she has left in her life. And her father is kind of just stuck into a daze, and his solution is to go on an impromptu road trip to her grandparents' house in a small coastal town. And even with the warmth of her grandparents and everything else, it just doesn't seem to help. And I think this is all about just trying to find her way after that loss. Okay, the next two books we have are books 2 and 3 of the Chantress trilogy by Amy Butler Greenfield. We have Chantress Alchemy and Chantress Fury. And I guess Book Outlet didn't have the first book whenever I placed this order, so I'll have to get that at some point. But I pulled it up here on Goodreads so I could read you what it says about that book. Sing and the darkness will find you. This warning has haunted 15-year-old Lucy ever since she was 8 and shipwrecked on a lonely island. Lucy's guardian, Nori, has lots of rules, but the most important is that Lucy must never sing, not ever. Now it is 1667. Lucy is 15, and on All Hallows Eve, Lucy hears a tantalizing melody on the wind. She can't help but sing, and she is swept into darkness. When she awakes in England, Lucy hears powerful men discussing chantresses, women who can sing magic into the world. They are hunting her, but she escapes and finds sanctuary with the Invisible College, an organization plotting to overthrow the nefarious Lord Protector. The only person powerful enough to bring about his downfall is a chantress, and Lucy is the last one in England. Lucy struggles to master the song, spells, and harness her power, but the Lord Protector is moving quickly, and her feelings for Nat, an Invisible College apprentice and scientist who deeply distrusts her magic, only add to her confusion. Time is running out, and the fate of England hangs in the balance in this entrancing novel that is atmospheric and lyrical, dangerous and romantic. And I thought it sounded really, really awesome. So that's what this is about. I have to start a new pile here because this one's just way too tall. Okay, so this next book here, well, it's not anything I would actually read. I don't think I got it for Xander. And it's called The Farting Dead. On the back it says, "This book stinks." You can't say we didn't warn you. But, okay, so this is an unauthorized parody by Stefan Petruccia and Rick Parker. Once they strove for art and beauty, and now The Farting Dead. Oh gosh. They have more. Because it says, from the creator... It says, from the creators of Diary of a Stinky Dead Kid, Harry Potty and the Deathly Boring, and the Hunger Pains, and comes The Farting Dead. And this definitely, Oh my gosh, they have covers for all of those here. Harry Potty and the Harry Potty and the Deathly Boring. He's holding a plunger. Oh my goodness. So this is something that I think Xander would very much enjoy because zombies and farting, and he's an 11-year-old boy, so it sounds hilarious and incredibly stupid, and I'm sure he'll love it. Okay, the next book in this box is Daughters of Ruin by Cyd Charisse. And this is just so gorgeous, I think. And it's one of those soft, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like the soft, buttery feeling cover. And it is so pretty. Oh my goodness, that artwork. It's beautiful. Okay, this says, meet rumor with quiet, treason with cunning, and vicious with vicious. Rhea, Caddis, Suki, and Irene have lived together since they were children. They were called sisters. They are not. They are called equals. They are not. They are princesses. And they are enemies. A brutal war ravaged their kingdoms, and Rhea's father was victor. As a gesture of peace, King Declan brought the daughters of his rivals to live under his protection and his ever-watchful eye. For 10 years, they have trained together as diplomats and warriors, raised to accept their thrones and unite their kingdoms in peace. But there is no peace among sisters, and all plans shatter when the palace is attacked. Their intended future lies in ashes. Rhea, Caddis, Suki, and Irene must decide where their loyalties lie, to their nations or to each other. Alliances shift and their consequences are deadly in this stunning fantasy debut from Cyd Charisse. I think it sounds really interesting. It kind of gives me like Three Dark Crowns kind of vibes from what I've heard of Three Dark Crowns, because I haven't actually read that yet either. But it kind of gives me those kind of vibes of the sisters battling it out kind of thing. And I'm just like blown away by this cover. It is just so pretty. You know, we're only about halfway through this stack. There's still 21 books left. So how are you guys holding up out there? Doing okay? This is a lot of books. Alright, let's go. Next we have Deadly Design by Deborah Doctor. And this says, though technically twins, Kyle and Connor McAdams couldn't be more different. Connor's the star of the track team, the valedictorian, a demigod living among the students at Rose Hill High School. But Kyle is more of a loner who's most comfortable playing video games in the basement. Also, these twins were born 2 years apart. Conceived in vitro at the Genesis Innovations Laboratory after their parents struggled to have children, the boys were carried separately. They thought it'd be safer that way. And it was, until Connor suddenly dies of a heart attack on his 18th birthday. Soon, Kyle learns of other kids conceived in the Genesis lab who've died the exact same way. It turns out the doctor their parents enlisted to help them may not have been everything he seemed. He gave them perfect children, but with one fatal flaw. Just as he's falling in love, Kyle's caught in a race against time to unlock the secrets hidden in his DNA. A thrilling adventure that will keep readers guessing at every turn. Deadly Design is packed with adrenaline and heart. So he's got to figure out what the issue is, get it fixed, and save himself before he dies in 2 years. Okay, next is The Boyfriend List by E. Lockhart. And it says, 15 guys, 11 shrink appointments, 4 ceramic frogs, and me, Ruby Oliver. It says, high school sophomore Ruby Oliver has had a rough 10 days. She has lost her boyfriend, number 13 on the list, lost her best friend, Kim, lost all her other friends, Nora and Cricket, done something suspicious with a boy, number 10, done something advanced with a boy, number 15, had an argument with a boy, number 14, had a panic attack, scary, lost a lacrosse game, she's the goalie, failed a math test, she'll make it up, hurt Megan's feelings, even though they aren't really friends, become a social outcast, no one to sit with at lunch, had graffiti written about her in the girls' bathroom, who knows what was in the boys', But don't worry. In this first of 4 Ruby Oliver novels, Ruby lives to tell the tale and make more lists. So it looks like the other 3 books are the boy book, the treasure map of boys, and real life boyfriends. And it just looks cute. And it's a really short read with like only 229 pages. And it's one of these super floppy paperbacks, which are just fun. I don't know why they are. They just are. Instead of being all like stiff and stuck like that, it's just wee. I'm so easily amused. Okay, so next we have Vesper by Jeff Sampson. And this is the first book in the Deviant series. And it's about a girl named Emily who is just a geek. And she's happy about that. She is definitely not the kind of person that would start fights or flirt with other girls' boyfriends. Until one night, Emily finds herself doing exactly that. The same night, a classmate, also by the name Emily, is found murdered. And the thing is, Emily doesn't know why she's doing this stuff, but every night she seems to be getting wilder until it's just no longer her personality that's changing. She's also becoming strong, fast, and fearless. So she's trying to figure out if she's become bewitched by the soul of the other murdered Emily, or if she's becoming something else entirely that's not human. So that's what this is all about. Okay, so the next book in the box is The Fairy Ring by Kiki Hamilton. And it says, the year is 1871, and Tiki has been making a home for herself and her family of orphaned pickpockets in a deserted hideaway adjoining Charing Cross Station in central London. One December night, Tiki steals a ring and sets off a chain of events that will change her world forever. For the ring belongs to Queen Victoria, and it binds the rulers of England and the realm of Fairy to peace. And now that the ring is missing, the result could be all-out war with the Fae. Unbeknownst to Tiki, she's being watched and protected by Riker, a fellow thief who suspects she is involved in the disappearance of the ring. Riker has secrets of his own, and Tiki is not all that she appears to be. Her very existence haunts Prince Leopold, the Queen's son, who is driven to know more about the mysterious mark that encircles her wrist. Prince, pauper, and thief all must work together to secure the treaty. And there's a blurb that says, lovers of all things fantasy will likely devour the book and wait anxiously for more. And I looked on Goodreads, and there are 4 of these books available. I just don't know that if they're on Book Outlet or not, but I got the first one. Okay, the next thing we have is The Blood Coven's Vampires Volume 1 by Mary Mancusi. And this actually includes 2 books, Boys That Bite and Stake That, which are the first 2 books in the Blood Coven Vampire series. And there are like 8 books in this series. But this is the first 2. It says, experience the first 2 dark and delicious Blood Coven vampire novels and meet the McDonald sisters, 2 girls as different as the sun and the rain. In Boys That Bite, when Sunny McDonald's sister drags her to Club Fang, all she expects is a bunch of goth kids playing at being vampires. But when a tall, handsome stranger mistakes Sunny for her dark side-loving twin and bites her on the neck, she realizes his fangs are as real as his sapphire blue eyes. Now Sunny has 1 week to reverse the transformation, or she'll be bonded to the vampire Magnus for all eternity. And in Stake That, it says, Rain McDonald had it all figured out. Become the vampire mate of the Blood Coven master and live the high life for all time. Too bad the head vamp only has eyes for her sister. Now, not only is Rain fangless, but she discovers she's destined to be a vampire slayer instead. Her first mission is to infiltrate a seedy vampire bar to stop a nasty blood virus from spreading. But how can she concentrate on her job when sexy vampire bad boy Jareth keeps getting in the way? And it just sounded like a fun read. Okay, next we have The Orphan Queen by Jody Meadows. Isn't that pretty? I just think it's just beautiful. And this is another floppy paperback. Why are these so much fun? Oh, okay. Okay, it says, a princess, a spy, a threat. When the Indigo Kingdom conquered her homeland, Princess Wilhelmina and other orphan children of nobility were taken to Skyvale, the Indigo Kingdom's capital. 10 years later, they are the Ospreys, experts at stealth and theft. With them, Wilhelmina means to take back her throne. But Wraith, a toxic byproduct of magic, pours across the continent, reshaping the land and animals into fresh horrors. Soon it will reach the Indigo Kingdom. Wilhelmina's ability to perform magic might be the key to stopping the Wraith. But if the vigilante Black Knife discovers Will's magic, she will vanish like all the others. A powerful coming-of-age story. The fight for the throne continues in The Mirror King. So this is the first book in the Orphan Queen series. Okay, next we have 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnston. And it says, this is a story that has never been told. Lo Melkin killed 300 girls before he came to her village looking for a wife. When she sees the dust cloud on the horizon, she knows he has arrived. She knows he will want the loveliest girl, her sister. She vows she will not let her be next. And so she is taken in her sister's place, and she believes death will soon follow. Lo Melkin's court is a dangerous place filled with pretty things, intricate statues with wretched eyes, exquisite threads to weave the most beautiful garments. She sees everything as if for the last time. But night after night, Lo Melkin comes to her and listens to the stories she tells, and day after day she is awakened by the sunrise. Exploring the palace, she begins to unlock years of fear that have tormented and silenced a kingdom. Lo Melkin was not always a cruel ruler. Something went wrong. With each tale she spins, her power grows. Soon she dreams of bigger, more terrible magic, power enough to save a king if she can put an end to the rule of a monster. And this is the first book in 1,000 Nights series. Okay, so next in the box is The Shadow Hour by Melissa Gray. And if you watched part 1 of this book outlet Boxing Day haul, then you will have seen The Girl at Midnight, which is the first in this series. And this is the second book in the series. So I'm not going to read you the back of this, but if you want to check out my part 1, I'll have that down in the description below. But I will read you the blurbs that are on the back of this. It says, inventive, gorgeous, and epic. Danielle Page, author of Dorothy Must Die. A stunning debut, equal parts atmosphere and adventure. Melissa Gray's The Girl at Midnight is positively divine. Victoria Schwab, author of A Darker Shade of Magic. Catnip for fans of Cassandra Clare. Bookpage.com. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of laughs. Nerdist.com. A must-read, Paste Magazine. You are going to love Echo. Bustle.com. Okay, next is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. And dang, this is a big book. I've actually seen the movie. I didn't realize it was such a big book, though. I'm curious to see how the book goes. Yeah, it's 619 pages. Okay, so it's about these aliens coming and taking over the minds of humans, but leaving their bodies intact. And there's this girl, Melanie, whose mind is trying to be taken over by an alien named Wanderer. But Melanie's kind of fighting that, and so they're both kind of battling it out in her head. And she's trying to get to the guy she loves. Though I think they both, Melanie and Wanderer, both fall in love with the guy. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've actually watched this movie, so I don't really remember too much about it, but I do kind of remember a little. Okay, so the next 3 books we have the Dead City Trilogy by James Ponti. Okay, so we have Dead City, Blue Moon, and Dark Days. So these are actually middle grade. So I thought it would be something that Xander might like, but I think it sounds cute, so I'll probably read it too. But it's kind of a zombie hunters type thing. It says, normal kids have enough to deal with between school, homework, extracurricular activities, and friends. But Molly Bigelow isn't normal. In fact, she's far from it. Molly goes to the Metropolitan Institute of Science and Technology, a school for gifted students, and hangs out at the morgue. To be fair, her mom used to work there, so it's kind of a second home. But Molly's learning about more than math and dead bodies. Molly is becoming an expert in zombies. Yep, zombies. New York City is full of them. Some of them look just like the living, only dead, and just want to be left alone. But some of them aren't too happy with their condition. It's these ones that Molly and her band of zombie hunting friends, known as Omegas, have to keep an eye on. And when it turns out that a group of zombies is plotting to take over the city, Molly finds herself in a fight to save everything she cares about. After all, when your mom was a famous zombie hunter and has secretly trained you to be one too, you kind of have to follow in her footsteps. And it just sounded really, really cute. It kind of made me think of, like, just reading that brought flashes of iZombie. I don't know if any of y'all have seen that show, but it made me think of iZombie, but kid form. Only 9 more books to go. Okay, so the next book is Compulsion by Allison Brennan. And I did not realize that this was part of a series, but it is actually the second book in the Max Revere series. So, yeah, I'm going to have to, I guess, get the first book. So I pulled up on Goodreads the first book so I could tell you about it, so I don't spoil anything for the second book. So the first book is called Notorious, and it says, Maxine Revere has dedicated her life to investigating murders that the police have long since given up any hope of solving. A nationally renowned investigative reporter with her own TV show and a tough-as-nails reputation, Max tackles cold cases from across the country and every walk of life. But the one unsolved murder that still haunts her is a case from her own past. When Max was a high school senior, one of her best friends was strangled and another, Kevin O'Neill, accused of the crime. To the disgrace of her wealthy family, Max stood by her friend until she found out he lied about his alibi. Though his guilt was never proven, their relationship crumbled from the strain of too many secrets. Now Max is home for Kevin's funeral. After years of drug abuse, he committed suicide. She's finally prepared to come to terms with the loss of his friendship, but she's not prepared for Kevin's sister to stubbornly insist that he didn't kill himself, or for an elderly couple to accost her at the airport, begging her to look into another murder at Max's old high school. Max is more interested in the cold case at her alma mater than in digging around Kevin's troubled life, but she agrees to do both. As Max uncovers dark secrets, she finds herself caught in a complicated web of lies that hit far too close to home. And it's becoming increasingly clear that someone will do whatever it takes to make sure the truth stays buried. And I thought that sounded pretty interesting. I actually want to say I had this first one in my cart as well, and I'm thinking maybe it was one of those things that disappeared quickly in the whole Boxing Day insanity. Because I had a lot of things just poof, disappear off my cart as I was trying to check out. Okay, the next book in the box is A Crown of Wishes by Roshani Chokshi. And this is the sequel to The Star-Touched Queen, which I thought I had. And apparently I don't. So I guess that's another one that I'm going to have to get. But I will pull it up on Goodreads and tell you about it. Okay, so for The Star-Touched Queen, it says, Maya is cursed. With a horoscope that promises a marriage of death and destruction, she has earned only scorn and fear of her father's kingdom. Content to follow more scholarly pursuits, her whole world is torn apart when her father, the Raja, arranges a wedding of political convenience to quell outside rebellions. Soon, Maya becomes the queen of Akaran and wife of Amar. Neither roles are what she expected. As Akaran's queen, she finds her voice and power. As Amar's wife, she finds something else entirely. Compassion, protection, desire. But Akaran has its own secrets. Thousands of locked doors, gardens of glass, and a tree that bears memories instead of fruit. Soon, Maya suspects her life is in danger, yet who, besides her husband, can she trust? With the fate of the human and otherworldly realms hanging in the balance, Maya must unravel an ancient mystery that spans reincarnated lives to save those she loves the most, including herself. and I thought it sounded super interesting, and I got the sequel because I thought I had the first one, and I don't, so okay. So the next 3 books I have here are from the Blue Bloods series by Melissa De La Cruz, and we have The Van Allen Legacy, which is book 4, Lost in Time, which is book 6, and Gates of Paradise, which is book 7. And I already have several other books from the series, and so I was kind of working on completing the collection. Oh my goodness. Now I have 2 stacks that tower over my head. Okay, the next 2 books I have are The Vault of Dreamers and The Rule of Mirrors by Karag M. O'Brien. My eyeballs. Okay. And this is either part of a series or part of a trilogy, but I know the 3rd book actually just came out in 2017, and it's called The Keep of Ages. Okay, so The Vault of Dreamers is the first book, and it says, "Welcome to the prestigious Forge School of the Arts, where every waking moment of the students' lives is televised. For 12 hours a day, every class, conversation, and gesture is broadcast to millions of viewers, and for 12 hours each night, the students undergo an induced sleep, proven to maximize creativity. Rosie Sinclair has staked all her dreams of becoming a filmmaker on succeeding at Forge, but when she skips her sleeping pill one night, she discovers an insidious world behind the cameras. As she navigates the Forge landscape of art and manipulation by day, Rosie finds it increasingly difficult to trust either her instincts or her mind. The only thing she knows for certain is that she must unearth the ghastly secret that the Forge School is hiding. From the author of the Birthmark trilogy comes a fast-paced, psychologically thrilling novel about what happens when the dreams you follow are no longer your own." And this very much made me think about The Giver and how they take the medicine to make them not see color or feel emotions or anything like that. So it kind of made me think about that, and love The Giver. Okay, so we are down to just the last 2 books in the box, and that is the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd, 9th grade slays and 12th grade kills. And Xander already has a couple of these, and we've actually gotten them autographed. When I went to Y'all Fest, I got them autographed, the ones we already had anyway. But this is just kind of adding to his collection because he didn't have the whole series. But let me pull up on Goodreads about the first book so I can tell you about it, because I don't really know anything at all about these books. So it's the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd series, and the first book is 8th Grade Bites. And it says, Vlad has to keep his vampire urges under control while dealing with the pressures of middle school. 13-year-old Vladimir Todd really hates junior high. Bullies harass him, the principal is dodging him, and the girl he likes prefers his best friend. Oh, and Vlad has a secret. His mother was human, but his father was a vampire. With no idea of the extent of his powers, Vlad struggles daily with his blood cravings and his enlarged fangs. When a substitute teacher begins to question him a little too closely, Vlad worries that his cover is about to be blown. But then he faces a much bigger problem. He's being hunted by a vampire killer. It sounds cute, and it's something that Xander was interested in, so yeah, I got that for him. All right, well, that is all of this haul. That was a lot of books. I ended up doing 46 of the 82 in this video. So I guess I only did 36. Yeah, 36 in the last one. So this one was even more than the first part. It's a lot of books. It's 82 books altogether. If you'd like to know how much each of these cost, I can tell you that now. Okay, for this one, it was $4.29, $3.19, $3.19, 99 cents, 89 cents, $3.79, 59 cents, 99 cents, 99 cents, $3.19, $5.89, $7.49, 99 cents, $3.19, $1.19, 69 cents, $2.19, $5.89, 99 cents, 89 cents, $4.29, 99 cents, $1.19, $1.19, 89 cents, 99 cents, $2.19, $3.19, $3.19, 99 cents, $6.39, 99 cents, 99 cents, $1.19, 99 cents, 99 cents, $1.19, $1.19, 99 cents, $3.19, 99 cents, $1.19, $1.19, 99 cents, $3.19, $1.19, 99 cents. And then on top of all that, I got $45 off. So I got a lot of these books that are only 99 cents. So you could say I got 45 books free. It's awesome. I love Book Outlet. In honor of Strike Back Videoathon, I would like to shout out Leighanne's Lit. She is super adorable. She's a BookTube channel. You should definitely go and check her out, and I will put her link down below. And if you haven't heard of the Strike Back Videoathon, I'll put a link to that down in the description as well. Okay guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time,